While preparing this show, I thought about a lot. About his past, about his future. First of all, in my past there was a lot of your support, your feelings. I realized again that it was thanks to them that I had come so far. I ask and hope that you will enjoy it by comparing the Hanyu Yuzuru that is in your hearts, the Hanyu Yuzuru that is here now, as well as all your thoughts and feelings. I ask you to love and favor. Hanyu Yuzuru. No one could create such content except me. All 5 days of the prologue have been successfully completed. You've done a great job. Please tell us about the seedlist. First, about the main program Seimei. Having presented her on the show, what are you experiencing now? Hanyu. I was very worried. This time there were fewer breaks in the program than in the original one, so the way the load was distributed changed. So with the feelings of I want to roll difficult things and because I'm a professional, I want to add the complexity available to me, I increased the number of axles 3 and even tried to make the rotation to the proper level. In addition, in the steps I returned the original content. In general, it was a semi of the professional level. Although the content was changed, I was striving for a full competitive performance, and when I was able to roll back cleanly, I was incredibly happy. In all the subsequent numerous programs, I failed to maintain concentration, but I was happy enough to raise my fist in victory. And despite the lack of judges' ratings, this feeling of excitement, yet it does not particularly appear in a space that is not close to a competitive one, so in this special excitement, I felt joy and a sense of satisfaction. I want to keep competing like this. 5 videos were shown between the performances. All of them are exciting from the beginning of viewing, but as you progress, you feel that you are immersed in their atmosphere more and more. Did you decide the content, choose the video and music yourself? Hanyu? I chose and made demos for these videos myself, and then after numerous approvals and discussions of the order, they were made for me. I checked them until the morning of the first day of the show in Yokohama. When I was working on the content of the prologue, I thought that I wanted to show videos with cuts to music from other programs, each with its own meaning, during the programs and between them. In the opening video, Romeo and Juliet is a representation of the Sochi Olympics leading to Pyeongchang. Along with the music filled with a sense of excitement, I go out on the ice, roll out, and move to Pyeongchang, followed by the same air rental. That's what the content is. There are many scenes of jumping on ice in the video, but in fact, these are images of unsuccessful attempts that are in my head, and the way they are corrected and turned into an image of success. This reflects what is not visible during the real rollout. And the audience, too, as I became a professional, probably thought that they would no longer have the opportunity to see my warm-up. And before the ice show, I do the same warm-up as I do at competitions, so even though there is no way to show it live, I wanted the audience to feel the excitement and anticipation inherent in the warm-up at the 6-minute rollout before the Seimei from the Olympics in Pyeongchang. With such thoughts, I came up with the content of the show. Sasankwa was the theme song for the broadcast of the Olympics and Paralympics in Pyeongchang on NHK. Listening to her, memories of the trauma before the Olympics and that pain resonate in me. However, when I listened to it again in the process of creating the prologue, I was touched by how the lyrics of the song are in tune with my whole figure skating life. So I used this song to create an image of today's me talking to myself, who has gone from a 9-year-old, gained a lot of experience, and challenging the 4-axle. I wanted to create even more similar images, but I was limited by the number of videos. So I was looking for those that I could use as much as possible, and I made exactly what I imagined. The process of mastering jumps is something in which there is nothing but failures. To succeed, there is nothing left but to move forward, making mistakes countless times. I think usually, when creating something creative, you don't always use what didn't work out. As in these videos, constantly trying, making mistakes, getting killed, constantly being injured, but still getting up, getting injured again. No one could create such content except me. Scenes of trauma, a collision scene that only I could choose. He expressed a dream that he somehow managed to achieve when everything was not at all easy, falling countless times, and a story that will continue and will be filled with challenges. I, who in Beijing said it was not rewarded, in Pyeongchang I threw away my happiness, in Sochi impotence, was able to put into this work the thoughts that I wanted to convey now, thanks to all of you, I am rewarded, and I will be happy if I can become at least some kind of force for you. That me and the current me are one person. In the video about the Great East Japanese Earthquake, background music Requiem of Heaven and Earth, long videos with types of destruction are used. You said that you selected these videos, digging out the wounds on your heart, experiencing pain every day. Tell us again about your thoughts when, despite such mental pain, you collected these videos of such a length. Hanyu? This video is based on my idea in my head, which is displayed in the program Requiem of Heaven and Earth. There was an earthquake, a tsunami came, by dawn everything was destroyed, you can't do anything, you can't think about anything, even sadness does not fill your heart, there are no emotions, no joy from life, no sadness. I wanted to express all this in the first half of the video. I don't think there is a single person who would be pleased to watch it. However, looking back at my life, I understand that that earthquake is an integral part of it. The reason I asked for permission to use videos and photos of television and newspapers is that at that time I had no opportunity to think about myself or my skating. I used footage from broadcasting and other sources with the desire to create a video that would allow everyone to feel at least a little what I, one of the people, saw from the news, as well as what a disaster it was for everyone. In relation to the earthquake, along with the thoughts I don't want to forget, I won't let it disappear, there is also I want to forget, I don't want to remember. But now I realize that the current self is acting and making efforts, because that I, who undoubtedly experienced 3.11, experienced those emotions. I took for the show the composition and the program Requiem of Heaven and Earth, these videos, followed by White Legend, as well as Romeo Juliet, with a strong will to overcome everything, so that at least for a short period of time, everyone could have a chance to find meaning, so that everything we were able to move forward. Before the video with Requiem of Heaven and Earth on the third day of the show in Hachina, you made a speech. What feelings did you have because of the video showing about the disaster at the performances in Tohoku? Hanyu? I wanted to convey the meaning of creating videos before showing them, because there were quite a lot of people with big wounds due to the disaster at the Tohoku show. On the first day of the show in Hachina, I was momentarily overwhelmed with feelings that I wanted to convey that I took the microphone in a hurry and spoke. This happened thanks to the staff, who were ready to respond to all urgent questions, and whom I fully trusted. During this speech, I realized that no matter how far away you lived at that time, even if you didn't feel the slightest jolt, even if you only saw it on the news, 3.11 exists in each of us. After thinking about it, I came to the conclusion that everyone needs to face it, regardless of whether it affected you or not. Both during the creation of the videos, in fact, and during their screening, I was hurt and my wounds on my heart opened many times, but I feel that I was also able to directly face them. At the end of this video, your appearance on the ice in the middle of Romeo Juliet was dramatic. Did you come up with this? Hanyu? I came up with it, or rather conceived it. Romeo Juliet at the 2012 World Cup left a strong impression on everyone, and I myself am one of them. In an effort to get a little closer to that representation and compare it with the expression of my current world, I wanted to make this program even better. I used it in the show, putting things like overcoming, passion, struggle. So after the video about the disaster and the white legend following it, instead of a sharp transition to an adult image, hoping to express that then and now it's still the same person, including that performance, his fragility and strength, capable of overcoming the disaster and standing up, for this reason I decided to perform this way. Such a production is possible only if the show is your own, and I am grateful to the staff who instantly understood the idea and helped in its implementation. Before the final track of the steps of Romeo Juliet, you really screamed. Why did you decide to do this? Hanyu? I shouted in this program only twice in the 2011-2012 season, at the 2011 Japanese Championship and the 2012 World Championship. At the Japanese Championships, I shouted so as to give myself strength and spirit before the last jump. The image of Felipe Candeloro screaming, there was a scream before his direct path of steps in the program Dertagnan, is really cool, and also there was an idea in my head to give the program more realism, so I shouted before the path of steps. There was a shout at the World Cup too, but it was different from the Japanese Championship. My body is barely holding on, my ankle hurts, my strength is running out, but despite this, I performed all the jumps before and was on my way to the last one, the mistake on which was like an old injury, and I realized that I was screaming. Even now, remembering this moment again, I tremble. I will never forget the applause and the strength it gave me. The current me and I of those times are different, but on the show prologue from say May and up to this point, I have already rolled back quite a lot of programs. It was because I was writing with my body at the limit with a strong will I will continue to fight until the very end. And with the feeling I am fighting with myself of that time that I shouted in front of the path of steps. I think that scream became part of the Romeo Juliet program.